Staying ahead of the curve, staying on top of design, how do you guys do that?
I don't have an HR department. I don't have big layers of management in the company.
So what has been popular, or what are people wanting?
The joy with the fabrics is that we can put anything the client chooses.
Started in Italy, of course.
Yeah, I've just come back for a week in Italy and they're inspiring.
Hello everyone, I'm Nadine and welcome to Design Discussions with Nadine. I am in London and I'm sitting down with Philipp of Neatsmith, a beautiful wardrobe, custom closet, showroom manufacturer. I visited them a few years ago and that's when I first met them. Very impressed by all of the things that you guys do.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you'll sit down with me and get into more detail about the business, the company, the products, the materials, all the good things. So,
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming all this way.
So let's first find out a little bit about the company itself. When was it formed? What was the idea behind starting this company, and go from there?
It was formed 20 years ago. It started, my father had some wardrobes installed in his house. At the time he was looking for various businesses and things to do, and the company they were installing I think it was one of their last retail jobs. They were then strictly sticking to manufacturing for other end users or other retailers. So he said, well, perhaps there's an option that we become a retailer and sell your product. And Neatsmith was started in April 2005. And the idea is like a blacksmith or a silversmith. We're Neatsmiths.
Okay, I was going to ask, because that was one of the things I hadn't asked you guys before. Where did the name come from?
That was it. And it hadn't existed. It's a made-up name. But we try and do things neatly and very particular. And so we started then, back in those days, we used to get a rucksack and put leaflets in and walk around the street and put it through letterboxes and then pray for an inquiry. And then if we got one, we'd get all dressed and we'd go and visit the customers. And we'd have 2 suitcases and we'd sell in the house. And then as we got a few sales in, we didn't have an office. You just go to my dad's house and sit there and do all this. And then we employed a young boy to help us with the leaflet dropping. And then in early 2006, we found a converted builder's yard, which was effectively a lockup. So it had a car park below, shutter gate, car park, and upstairs was an office. And that was our first premises. And we put a few wardrobes up there and a desk. And we started selling from this. It's directly opposite the White Hart Lane, the Tottenham Football Stadium train station. So it was quite wild.
Yeah, and how it's grown so much, because you have multiple locations now, right?
We do now. We have 6 live. We have one in Tunbridge Wells, which will be opening in September 2025. And after that, the plan is we're self-funded, so it'll be a case of once they start making a bit more money, we'll get that money and we'll look to open more, and we'll see.
Keep growing from there.
I think so. I'm not sure what the correct amount is, but I'd like to get to 10.
That's good.
And then see what happens.
And maybe elsewhere?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do think there's scope to do stuff abroad. New York, Dubai, possibly a shop in Europe at some point as well.
Well, you have beautifully amazing things. So let's get into some details about. I'm curious what's been popular. I see some of your wardrobes that you have are same as what was here before, but you have some new things. So what has been popular, or what are people wanting when it comes to their closets?
Recently, the fluted glass, the detailed sort of fluted doors as well. They have become more popular. Color, actually. Greens are pretty popular at the moment. So we did a big campaign last year of green. So we introduced a green glass, a new green lacquer, which we've done. And for us, bars, actually. And we have a small bar here, but
which we'll show for everybody to see. Yes. It's beautiful.
But it's only a small thing, but it allows us to tell people. So in our Tunbridge Wells store, which was coming, we have a very big bar being built to show, wine storage, bar, whatever, little coffee station. And that's becoming popular. When we first started, sliding doors were 75% of what we did, and now they're 10% of what we do. So in the wardrobe side, sliding doors have certainly been replaced by hinge. Still very popular are dressing rooms, by which I mean units like this, open. It's, you know, it's the look that everybody wants to have in their house.
And this is, like I mentioned earlier, this is very popular in the US. So, you know, people have lots of walk-in closets and it's more open space, whereas the closed-in wardrobes with sliding doors or regular hinge doors, you don't see them as much. But I think they're very effective and functional. You know, it closes it off to not being able to see, you know, hanging things. But it seems like it's the opposite.
And are they in separate rooms, or is it open a door and it's in a space?
It's like inside a closet, off the bedroom or something, where you may have a room like this that's the closet off of a bedroom, and you have either open shelving like this, or people can do the wardrobes that have the doors on it too. But I don't see that as often. People tend to want the open hanging racks and shelves and shoe shelves and things like that.
It's nice to see it all. I think the housing stock, certainly in London, the older housing stock is all, it's a bedroom and then a bathroom. You know, certain developers that we work with will include a dressing room off the bedroom now in the bigger properties. But yeah, it's certainly traditionally, it's always just been a room, big, tall, high ceilings and a room. So it's trying to find the best place to put a wardrobe in that room and use all the space. We love selling these. I mean, there's no set sizes, there's no modules, nothing. It's purely designed around what a client wants and what the space allows. No one puts this in their room on display open. You know, you wouldn't put a bed next to it.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I mentioned, like, you know, the separation of the closets in the U.S. So it's kind of closed off anyways, because there's a door on it, which is different from what you would find here or other places in Europe. So it's, you know, when I first started traveling abroad to see design, that's the reason why I wanted to see what are other countries doing, what is Europe doing to, you know, different things, tiles, flooring, cabinetry, closets. And I learned a lot of things and how different it is across the pond.
What country sort of stood out the most?
Well, I originally started in Italy, of course.
I mean,
you know, I don't think that's a shock.
I mean, yeah, they're just...
You know, I started out because I go to Milano Design Week every year. Yes. So I started that about 4 years ago, and then I'm like, you know what? I started, you know, I've been to France and Spain and, you know, of course, London. So it's just interesting to see how different, and I originally wanted to do it to see what is potentially going to be coming to the U.S. in a few years, because we're always delayed on design. So seeing it ahead of time and then seeing the anticipation of what's going to come, or have, you know, vendors that I can go to and offer my clients different things that aren't in the U.S. is also a big benefit too.
Totally agree. That's why I go to Italy and go to Salone, Milan, because I go there and it's, you know, you get this, that. Okay, I can't copy them the way they do certain things, but there's other things I can, and they're just one rung ahead. You know, they're one rung up that ladder of design, certainly. So if you can pinch ideas, so yeah, for me as well. Going to Italy is...
That leads me into another question, is staying ahead of the curve, staying on top of design. How do you guys do that? And that's a
Italy's
pretty good answer.
But also designers. We have a lot of designers that come to us with creations, I would say, stuff which sometimes doesn't exist. And these are really talented people. And I often think, instead of going, no, that's crackers, I'm not doing it, I often look at it and go, it drives my brother crazy. So the division of labor now is that I try and sell stuff. My brother tries to fit the stuff, and we have 85, 90 staff. You know, I see the stuff that comes in, and that gets me, that does have an impact on stuff, because we'll try it, we'll say, okay, let's give it a go, bit of a longer lead time, there'll be a guinea pig, and then if it works, I bring it on board, or I'll just try and make it. I'll go into the factory and say, guys, we're going to make this. I'm getting a lot of calls for this.
Trial and error.
100%. You know, I don't want to reinvent wheels. I prefer people come and, you know, we just refine them. But designers are brilliant in that regard, and Italy. For me, Italy, we go to Germany for our components and our hardware.
Which makes sense as well.
Yes, they're brilliant. But the main design is certainly Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think that, you know, fashion, home,
I'm
cars.
just walking
It's
around,
pretty much everywhere.
just walking around Milan, you know, during Fashion Week as well, just seeing the way people are dressed. And yeah, I've just come back from a week in Italy, and they're inspiring. I love it.
Vanessa was there with me this year, and she was never there before. So it was, as an interior designer for her, it was exciting to see all of the new and upcoming things. So
I think what's important for us is we're still a small family business. That's what it feels like. I don't have an HR department. I don't have big layers of management in the company. A lot of the guys and girls have been with me for a long, long, long time. The oldest employee, well, not as in age, but in terms of duration, has been with us for 18 years, 18 and a half years, out of 20. The ladies here, 12 years, 11 years. The other showroom's 14 years, 15 years. It feels like a big family.
but that's important, and I feel like also your clients will feel and see that too, and that helps to bring in people, or when people come into your showroom, they're gonna see that family feel, and people love that.
Yeah, and that's it. And I'm involved in stuff all the time. I like it. You don't have to go through tiers of stuff to get hold of me. If a client wants to have a discussion about something, I get on the phone, because it's interesting talking to people as well. Also, everyone in the company is a full-time employee. So none of the designers are commissioned. None of the fitters are subcontracted. It's not the most commercial decision, because we have had times where it gets a bit quiet. Not recently, thankfully, but if we're doing a big development and we put all the fitters on, then they have a problem, and then they don't come back for 2 weeks. We could be in trouble then. But the main reason to do it is, and the reason we did it from the scratch, is that my brother said, we decided, if we had to send a random person to my mother's house and she could be tricky, she will tell you very quickly if she's not, if things aren't quite right. And I don't want to send someone that I don't know, doesn't work for me, because one day he's fitting bathrooms and he's got his bathroom jumper on. Next day he's fitting a bedroom. He goes, if they're not doing this full time for us, I find that subcontractors always turn around and go and blame someone else on this. Whereas with us, if there's a problem, the fitter will WhatsApp the office, say the shelf is damaged. No one will know about it. A new shelf will be cut, it'll be delivered, driven down, delivered within an hour, and it just gets put in. And so, yes, it's a more expensive process, and having loads more staff it allows us to look after customers better, and we can look after them better.
I agree.
And then it's and also all the guys and girls in the showroom. I've interviewed all of them and offered them the jobs to come work here. And when I come to the shop, I want to walk in and see them, because you spend more time at work than you do generally with your friends and your family. And I want a nice atmosphere. And I tell all the people that come to work, it's true. Because you don't want to walk in and see anyone surly or someone being this. It has to be a nice environment, because it's not just about trying to make as much money as possible. These things are important.
The welcoming, warm nature. And I mean, I felt that last time I was here. That was the immediate thing that I said. Everybody was so nice and friendly and welcoming, not knowing what I was coming in the door for, so.
It is important. COVID was very instructive in that. We'd always kind of felt that. But I found during the COVID period, customer service really diverged for a good few years. They couldn't wait to put up stickers on the window and tell you to stay outside. And if someone wanted to come and see us and it was within the law, please come in. Thank you so much. Have a cup of tea, coffee, please. Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We want to look after people.
So let's talk about the glass that you have here, which is very interesting, and I love the way that this is made. So
it's a bit of a secret sauce, SAUCE. I'm not entirely sure how. We have a guy that makes it for us, and he gets these wonderful fabrics. So we have this is fabric that looks like marble, and this is a fabric that looks like chainmail. And he puts a bonding agent on the face of it, which bonds to the glass. Then he puts protective film on the back, and then we have to put the final film is a British safety standard film that goes on the back, so that if it has to conform to safety standards, because if someone hits it, it's not going to crack and hurt people. So all that together, you won't be able to see it on the camera, but there's many layers in here. And
it's just so interesting to me that it's fabric, because when you look at this, you would think, no, this is either, something printed, or from far away, it actually, looks like marble. So the fact that it's a fabric back there, you have some beautiful ones that we're going to show.
There's a lot of different options.
Yeah.
But it's It can be tricky to work with, trying to get the edges just right because of the fabric. But I mean, we initially introduced it for highlights within the wardrobe, so for a drawer front or a back panel or for a glass top. But then, again, designer came in, saw it, and said, "I want that. I want a wardrobe with those doors." And I was like, "Brilliant!" So we did. It wasn't one. It was one of the other colours actually, and we went to a show. We put it on display, and people started buying it. So I took it straight out of the display. We put it in here. And we've been selling it ever since.
What a great idea.
Yes.
And you guys have lots of other interesting fabrics and finishes for door fronts. Like one of my favorites is the velvet one downstairs, which again, we'll show that too. It's just, it's different things that I've never seen before.
That comes from other people asking. Someone asked many, many years ago, can we put fabric in your doors? And my answer was, yes, we can. And then I had to then work out how to do it. And we've done that since. The joy with the fabrics is that we can put anything the client chooses. So we have a selection from local suppliers in the King's Road here in Chelsea. And often they'll want to make their own bespoke one, which is fine. We'll let us know the company, we'll get in touch, we know the quantities to order, and we'll make it to suit them. And that's very interesting. And we've done wallpapers as well. Can be tricky with wallpapers because the edges and the corners are very thick, heavy wallpapers. But it's a great way to personalize something because no one else will have it.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, and
It's a great pleasure.
I keep us in mind if you ever make your way to New York, and I'd love to make my way over there, or you can come to Texas and visit the hot weather.
I'd love to, and in fact, New York is on a horizon. This has been discussed. It'll happen. It will happen eventually. It's yeah.
Well, keep me in mind, and
do.
we'll come visit, and we'll come to maybe your grand opening. Yeah, I would love that. Well, thanks again. It was a pleasure, and stay tuned for the next episode.